Welcome, everyone. Hope we're doing incredible. See people joining us on Zoom. We're live on YouTube as well. So great to have you guys here. Everyone on YouTube, everyone on Zoom. Hope yous are keeping fantastic, and super excited to serve you guys over the next five incredible days. You probably joined because the event is called the Client Attraction Accelerator, right? So everyone here, I'm assuming, wants to attract more money, wants to attract more clients. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you are here for that. And also let me know where you're tuning in from in the world. Let me know. I mean, the last one that we did, we had people US, UK, Dubai, Canada. So let me know in the chat whereabouts you are tuning in from. I'm in Manchester. Well, I say I'm in Manchester because I was born in Manchester, but I've recently moved out of Manchester. So now I'm in a place called Wigan. We have someone from Poland, Arka Dios. Hope I'm saying your name correctly. If not, excuse me, but it's great to see you here. Also, we have a live chat on YouTube. For those of you watching live on YouTube, let me know in the chat whereabouts you are tuning in from. I would love to know. Now, before we get into, the juicy part of this session, there's just a few little logistics that we want to go over. And the reason for this is to make sure that you get the most out of this 5 day challenge, right? Out of this workshop. And what I mean by that is that I really pride myself on helping people get results. I don't want you to get more information. Information is important, but information isn't going to change your results. Okay? It's the implementation of the information. So I'll give you an example. Let's say, you done this exam online on how to drive a car. Okay? And it was 5 days intensive. You're learning online how to drive a car. You've got so much information on how to drive the car. You know about the engine, you know about the mechanics of the car, the indicators, the hazard lights. Over those 5 days, you learn so much about the car. So you've got so much information on the car, right? However, it's only when you implement that information, you actually physically put yourself into a car and you implement all of that information that you learn that you're going to get results. Does that make sense? Hey, Francis, give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. I don't want you to have more information. I want you to get results and I want you to start attracting more clients than you can handle to the point then you've got to build a team. And if you've already got a team, you build a bigger team. Okay? Now we're going to break down some myths. I want you to all be present and I want you to all take massive action. Okay? Now, logistics, this 5 day workshop is going to run consecutively over the next 5 days. Okay? So day one is today. Then we're going to have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And all sessions are going to be live on rather YouTube if you join through YouTube, or this exact the same Zoom link at 6 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so I want to see you showing up. I want to see you implementing. And just remember, this is time to work on your business, not in your business. On your business, not in your business. And what is your business? Your business is you. Take you out of the situation. You don't have a business anymore, okay? So we have created a private Facebook group for this workshop. If you're not in the Facebook group, I would highly recommend it. The reason is that you're gonna have one-to-one contact with me for one. I'm gonna be able to support you. I'm gonna be able to push you and hold you accountable. You're also gonna be around other like-minded people that are in the Facebook group, and also that's where the replays are gonna be given as well. Okay, so if you're not in the Facebook group, what I can do is I can send you the link to join the Facebook group. But what you'll have to do is you'll have to register for the event. So some people may have not registered for the event. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Zoom, you probably have. When you register, it'll take you about 30 seconds. You're going to receive on the next page a link to the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, that's completely fine, but you're not going to get the support that you need. It's as simple as that. Okay. It takes one click of a button to join the Facebook group. And you also, by email, should have received a workbook. Okay. And the reason that I've not just sent the Facebook group to you, I've sent the link to join to register for the event is because then you'll be on the email list for the event. So you will get an email an hour before the event, just giving you reminders, the event's taking place, etc., etc. If you don't have a Facebook account, then what I would recommend is that you create one. Takes about 2 seconds, and you can, if you don't use Facebook, then you just use it for the sole purpose of these 5 days. I've been lying that you're going to get the most out of the event without being in the Facebook group, just because you're going to see everyone else's wins, and you're also going to be in a position where you're going to get the accountability. And accountability is an insurance policy against failure. So what I'll do as well is we've also created a workbook for the event, which is going to be very powerful because like I just stated, we don't want to just keep giving you information. We actually want you to come away from each session. You're going to have some homework to do in the workbook and you're going to have an action step. It's going to be a super simple action step, but if you complete the action step, you're going to start to see results. It's as simple as that. Okay, super simple action steps, but this is where we move from information to actually implementation, if that makes sense. Okay, who's excited? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you're excited. I'm excited. Nothing better than doing what I do. I used to attend seminars like this. One time, I booked a call with one of Bob Proctor's team. I did not even fathom or think that 2 years later I would be one of his top performing consultants. But here we are, right? These are very powerful as long as we implement. I'm super excited for you. Also, I would love to know in the chat, just let me know. Also on YouTube as well, what your business is. What is it you do for work? And yeah, let me know just so I've got an insight into use individually. Okay, so join the Facebook group, and now we're gonna get into day one. Day one is very important because nothing can be achieved without it. And there's a great quote by Robert A. Heinlein, and he says, in the absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily trivia until ultimately we become enslaved by it. Now we're in 2026, and when people hear about goals, they're like, yeah, goals, everyone talks about them, right? Goals are very important. This evening, or if it is evening where you are, or wherever you are, you had a goal to attend this workshop. When you leave your house in the morning, you have a goal to get to work, to go and drop the kids off at school. You have a destination. A person without a goal is lost. Imagine just getting in your car in the morning and you don't have a goal. Are you going to turn left? Are you going to turn right? Like, there is no destination. Goals are very, very, very important. Okay. And what I found, and you might find this crazy, but it's absolutely true. 1% of the population earn 96% of all the money. 1% of the population earn 96% of the money. And the other 99% are just left to share the remaining 4%. Now, what is it? Is 1% of the population lucky? Did God just say, I'm going to pick you, I'm going to pick you, I'm going to pick you, and you can be successful and that's it? Absolutely not. I can show absolutely anyone how to be in the top 1% of earners in the whole wide world. And it's actually really not difficult to do. But these people had a goal. They had a goal. Let me know in the comments, right? And this might sound silly, but let me know. If you got on a plane and he was a pilot called Mr. Robbins, and you seen the pilot and he said, "How are you?" And you said, "You know what, Mr. Robbins, I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Where are we going today?" And he said, "Well, I'm not sure. We might fly to Dubai, we might fly to California, or we might fly into a building, or we might fly into the middle of the ocean. Would you get on that plane? Let me know in the chat." I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Why? Because the plane has no destination. It has no goal. So how are you supposed to get somewhere without a destination? Now, one thing I've learned, our subconscious mind responds to specifics. The amount of people I speak to and I say, "What's your goal?" And they say, "More money." And I pull like £10 out of my pocket. I say, "Here you go. There's £10. That's more money." How much more money? We need to be specific. Okay? All the money that there ever has been, all the clients that there ever has been exists right now. It exists. Do you know what's stopping these clients, stopping this money coming your way? It's not the industry you're in. It's not how saturated the market is. It's not how pretty your logo is. It's you. It's your thinking. Okay? Think about how much you charge per client. Just think about that. Or how much you would like to charge per client. How many people are in the world? It's like 8 billion, right? It might be more now. It's like 8 billion people. Okay. So let's say you charge £1,000 for your product. Let's just put that number out there, £1,000, right? To earn £100,000 a month, you have to sell that product 100 times. That's so easy. There's 8 billion people. But what beliefs do people have? No one will buy my product. There's not enough people. There's 8 billion people. You need like the tiniest fraction of those to buy your products. So what's stopping you? It's your thinking around money. So what have you been thinking about money until now? There's not enough. It's hard to earn. What did you hear about money growing up? Let me know in the chat. I'll give you a few examples of what I heard, right? You ever heard that one that money doesn't grow on trees? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you've ever heard that. Money doesn't grow on trees. Yeah? Money is hard to earn. That was a big one. Yeah, oh yeah, same. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. Money is hard to earn. When I was growing up, no one around me had money. No one. My mum was on benefits. Well, my dad was in prison a lot, but when he was out of prison, he was on benefits. My nana was on benefits. No one around me even had a job, let alone had large amounts of money. Money was hard to earn. Money's the root of all evil. Sometimes all we've got to do is just discuss it, and then you'll realize how much bullshit it is. Excuse my French. Money is the root of all evil. Okay, well, let's break that one down, right? Because I know some people that are poor, they're broke, and they've done some really evil things. Okay? And I know some super successful people that have millions of pounds, millions of dollars, and they've also done some evil things. But then I know people without money that are really like lovely people. And I also know people with money that are also beautiful people. So what you've got to understand is that money just amplifies who you are. That's it. It just amplifies who you are. So if you're a, nice person without money, when all of these clients start coming in and all of this money starts coming in, you're going to be an even better person. You're going to be able to give more. You can open up schools. You can buy your family things. You can give to charity. That's not evil. If you're not a nice person and you're broke, you're probably going to be a terrible person with money. So it's not money, it's the person's hands who it's in. Nothing in this world is good or bad, it just is. And I see money like electricity. There's positives and negatives to everything. So you can do amazing things with money, you can do terrible things with money. You can make a man can cook an amazing meal from the power of electricity. But if the man uses electricity wrong, he could cook himself. You ever thought about that? Electricity can cook for the man or it can cook the man. So it's how we use it. Water is life. But if you get stuck in the middle of the ocean in big waves, then the water can kill you. But the water can also keep you alive if you drink, if you look after yourself and stuff like that. Is this making sense? Okay. So these beliefs are not real. But if you believe that they're real, they manifest themselves in your existence. And that's how it works. Your outside world is a mirror of the beliefs that you hold inside. Simple. If you think clients are hard to attract, then for you, clients are going to be hard to attract. If you think clients come to you with ease, then for you, clients are going to come to you with ease. So it's all to do with what you're thinking about. Growing up, I didn't really have a good image of myself. I didn't really believe in myself. And that's shown in my results, right? I told you I grew up on a council estate in Manchester. If you're from America, you call it the projects. And there was no money around. So when I got older, I wanted to earn money, like most people who understand the purpose of money do, but I never earned money. I was earning £15,000 a year as a model, and I mean it was terrible, you know. I've got two children who are amazing, and you know, not being able seeing other people take their kids on holidays, um, being able to go to restaurants, eat steak, do all of these things. And the woman who I was with at the time, the mother of my two children, some months she had to pay the rent. That doesn't feel good. That builds up a lot of. I was so frustrated. We lived in a flat. I was frustrated, and nothing seemed to change. I'd attend these seminars. I'd watch YouTube videos. I'd read, Think and Grow Rich. I'd have my affirmations. I'd have my goal card. I'd have all of these tools, and nothing changed until I really started to implement this information. And then I came across a guy called Bob Proctor. Who knows Bob? Give me a yes in the chat if you know about Bob. Yeah. So I came across Bob, and he was kind of, he looked amazing. He was like 86, but he had like this energy. And I started listening to him. And that was the first time. Like I told you, I grew up with, my dad was in prison a lot of my life. So I never had a human being telling me how amazing I am, how powerful I am. I never had that. And I was just fascinated with the way that he spoke. I was like, I want to be like him. He's telling me I can do anything, I can have anything. And I never used to believe that. And then he used to speak about this book, Think and Grow Rich. And he told me to read it through the video. So I started reading it. I started implementing. And then I decided to book a call with Bob Proctor's team because I was doing all of this studying. I knew the information, but my results weren't changing, right? So I booked the call with his team member, and he was called Cam. And Cam, you could tell he was trained by Bob. He's like, "Well, what's the most you've ever earned?" I was like, "The most I've ever earned in a year is £15,000, which is about £1,200 a month." And he said, "Well, how much would you love to earn?" And I said, "I'd love if I could earn 25 grand in a year." And he turned around and said, "That's like a shit goal. That's like a terrible goal." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "You already know how to earn £15,000 in a year. Why don't you focus on earning £15,000 a month?" And I was like, "What? This guy's crazy, right?" But I'd listened to Bob, and I knew what they taught, and something within me knew it was possible, but I didn't believe it. But he said it with so much certainty that I believed in him. I didn't believe in myself. And he told me about this mentorship. I was broke. I didn't have the money. He explained to me that you don't need the money. You need to make a decision. And then that was another thing where I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then he coached me on decision making and give me some instructions. And within 2 days, maybe less than 2 days, I found enough money to at least start the program with a payment plan. Now, bearing in mind, at this point, I was a model. I'd never sold anything in my life. I'd never been taught about business. I got kicked out of school at 13. I've got no GCSEs, no hardly any formal education, and I never knew anything about business. And I was going through this program, and he was teaching me about goal setting. 5.5 months into that program, I had an online fitness business, and the most it made in a month was £18,000 in 1 month. And the first thing they got me to do was write on a card, "I am so happy and grateful now that I have turned my yearly income into a monthly income." When I started that program, I used to read that and think, these guys are stupid. What, like, why am I doing this? But I was willing to try anything because clearly my way wasn't working. And they told me, if you write down what you want in present tense, you're not going to believe it. But if you keep reading it, you're going to start to believe it. And then once you believe it, you're going to see it manifest. So I was like, okay, let's try it. 5.5 months later, I had a business making £18,000 in a month. I was so shocked. And I spent that money so quick. I was like booking flights to Dubai, Disneyland. I'm doing everything that I couldn't do when I was broke. So I took my kids to Disneyland. It was amazing. And I took them to Dubai because when I didn't have no money, my friends were going to Dubai. And I said, "I'll come with you." So I saved up for the flight. And closer to the time that I was going to go to Dubai with my friends, bearing in mind I didn't have money, my friend rang me and he's like, "Right, bro, there's going to be six of us. We're going to get this, I think it was a 5 bedroom villa. We're going to hire 3 supercars a day because there was six of us, two in each car, Ferraris, Lamborghinis." And as I'm listening to him, I'm thinking, I can't do that. Like, I'm broke. Sounds amazing, but I'm broke. So I had to turn around to him and say, "Look, I can't do that. I can't go over. I haven't got any money to go to Dubai and go crazy like that." So long story short, I didn't stay in the villa with my friends, with the boys. I booked an Airbnb in Dubai. It was a shared accommodation. I had my own room, shared kitchen and bathroom and stuff like that. And I paid, I believe it was £210 for 7 nights in this Airbnb. And when I was in that Airbnb, knowing that my friends were out in the cars and going to these beautiful restaurants, it burnt me. Like when I say it burnt me. And I made a promise. At this time, I just joined the mentorship as well. And I made a promise to myself that I was going to go back to Dubai next year and I was going to do whatever I wanted. Whatever I wanted. And fast forward, once I had the business earning money, I went to Dubai and I took my children as well. And I mean, I went crazy. I had hired cars. I went to, that Salt Bay on like TikTok and stuff. He sprinkles the salt. I went to his restaurant, spent lots of money. It felt absolutely amazing. And then something serene happened. Once I was in the apartment, one of the nights, I was thinking, what the heck has happened? It kind of like hit me like, wow, you're in Dubai, you've got this business, you're doing amazing, you're attracting clients, you're attracting all of this money. What's happened? And I knew what had happened. I'd been following this program every single day. And more than the program, I'd been studying myself every single day. And when I was in bed that night, I had this crazy thought come to me. At the time, it was crazy, but it's not now. I had this voice say, Joel, don't just study this information. Go and teach it. Go and teach it. Because when I was in Dubai, I was like, I want other people to experience this. Like, this is amazing. Earning money is not hard, it's not difficult. Attracting clients is not difficult. It's so easy. Why isn't everyone doing this? This is what I was feeling. So I rang up Cam again and I said, is there any way of like teaching this, what Bob teaches? And he told me I could become, a certified Proctor Gallagher consultant, go through training and learn how to facilitate the program thinking into results. And I said, right, I'm doing it. Right. And that was about 2 years ago. And I've helped many, many people achieve their goals. And now I believe there's like 3 or 4 thousand Bob Proctor consultants, and I'm in the top 1%. So I think 1% is, I think it's like this 30 or 40 of us. And all of this, guys, is because I had a goal. And I had a goal so big and so scary, and I didn't know how to do it. But through the information that I'm going to share with you over the next 5 days is exactly how I achieved it. And I'm absolutely in no way boasting or anything like that. I'm just explaining my story to impress upon you that if someone like me can do it, you can absolutely do it. You know, I live in the house that I want, I drive the car that I want, I've got the watch that I always wanted, I've got an amazing woman who I always imagined being with, not necessarily her, but I had this inner feeling of what type of woman I wanted to be with, her values, her characteristics, and it's all, within the woman that I'm with now. So you can have absolutely anything that you want, but what you've got to understand is that success isn't a secret, number one. It's a system. And if you follow the system, then you're always going to be successful. Now, I know what you're thinking. Joel, with clients though, I keep getting these objections. I need to think about it. Da, 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 da. I need to practice my sales script. I need to have this perfect marketing. I need to invest in Facebook ads, try a new strategy. No, you don't. What you need to do is change what's going on with inside of you. That's it. Your outside world is showing you what is going on with inside of you. Now, one thing I know for an absolute fact, the only thing that clients buy from you is not your product. They don't buy your product. They buy your belief system. That is it. They're buying whether they believe that you believe what you're saying. They're buying your identity. Now, to step into a new identity, you need to know who that person is and you need to know what you want. You need to know where you want your business to be and how much money you want to earn on a monthly basis. Okay? Bob Proctor taught me that there's three types of goals. Number one is an A type goal. Number two is a B type goal, and number three is a C type goal. Now, an A type goal is going after something that you already know how to achieve. Okay. So I don't know, if you've already earned £50,000 in a month and you set a goal to earn £50,000 in a month, that would class as an A type goal. Okay. Now, the real purpose of a goal is it's not to buy the house or to, I don't know, whatever you want to do. It's not the outcome. The real purpose of a goal is to grow. That's the real purpose of a goal. So if you set a goal that you already know how to achieve, is there any growth in that? If you already know how to do it and you've done it in the past, there's no growth. You're not going to grow. Now, a B type goal is something that you think you can do. And this is where most people are within the business. They think that they can make one more sale next month, two more sales, five more sales. They think if they work a bit harder, practice the sales script more, put in more hours, they think they can achieve it. Okay? There's no inspiration in a B type goal. There's no inspiration in going after what you think you can do. And this is why most of the population don't achieve their goal because they start going, they're not really inspired, and then they quit. Okay? I help my clients and I want to help you set C-type goals. A C-type goal is what do you want? That's the best question in the world. It's the best question you can ever ask yourself. What do I want? Not what do I think I can do? What is possible? No. What is it that you want? If if you had all the resources and you knew you could do it, what would you go after? How many clients would you enroll? How many sales would you make? How much money would you want to earn? Where would you want to live? Okay. Now look, pay attention to this. If you know how to reach your goal, it's the wrong goal. If you know how to reach it, it's the wrong goal. It's not going to do for you what goals are designed to do, which is to grow. Now, Steve Jobs said that you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. He said, so you just got to trust that the dots will somehow connect in the future. Now, let me explain what he means by that. When I was instructed by my mentor to write down on a card and carry it with me, I am so happy and grateful that I turned my yearly income into a monthly income. I couldn't see how it was going to happen. I couldn't connect the dots looking forward. I had no clue how it was going to happen. Steve Jobs said you can only connect the dots looking backwards. So it's only once I achieved the goal that I could look back and be like, that's how I achieved it. Do you have a goal? What's your financial goal? Let me know in the chat. What's your financial goal? How much would you really love to earn every single month to be able to live the life that you really want to live? What is that number? Put it in the chat. $5,000 a week, 100K a month. Kevin on YouTube said 25K, 10,000 a month, 20K, half a million a year. Okay, so we've all got different goals, right? What if I told you the only reason that you're not already earning that amount is because you've not believed? Would you believe me? Or would you say, no, I need this business strategy, I need this algorithm? Listen, when you believe, your belief creates the fact. So to achieve that, two very important questions you've got to ask yourself. Only two. Number one is, am I able to do it? Am I able to earn 20K? Am I able to earn 5K a week? Am I able to earn, 34,000 euros? There's only two sources of reference that we can go to find out anything about ourselves. Two sources. One is science and the other is theology. If you go and ask them, go and ask the wisest scientists that you can find, what are we capable of as human beings? They cannot tell you. All they can tell you is that you have infinite potential. Do you know what the word infinite means? The word infinite blows my mind. Infinite means there's no end. There's absolutely no end. No one knows what you're capable of achieving. No one knows what you're capable of earning. So next time you ask yourself, am I able to do it? The answer is yes, I am able to do it. I might not know how I'm going to do it, but I am able to do it. Okay? The second question is a little bit different though. The second question is, am I willing? Am I willing to do whatever I have to do to cause the image in my mind to manifest into physical form? Are you willing? Think about a baby, right? I truly believe that God designed us knowing how to reach every single goal. Because look at a baby has a C-type goal. The baby's C-type goal at a certain age is to walk. It's not an A-type goal because the baby doesn't know it can walk. It's not a B-type goal because the baby doesn't think it can walk. But the baby sees everyone else walking and the baby wants to walk. And the baby doesn't have to be told that it's willing to walk. Sorry, that it's able to walk. It's just we know. The baby just knows. The only reason adults don't know is because we've been given these bullshit and terrible beliefs from the people around us. But a baby just innately knows that they're able to do it. So that first question, they've got it before they can even speak. I'm able to do it. Don't know how I'm going to walk like all of these people, but I'm able. Is the baby willing to walk? Absolutely. Is the baby willing to do whatever it takes? Yeah. How many times have you seen babies like wobbling, boom, they bang their head, they fall down the stairs, break the leg. Like a few days later, they're trying again. The baby never stays down, it gets back up and it tries and it tries and it tries and it tries again. That baby is willing to do whatever it takes to reach its goal. until the baby stands up and he's like, look, everyone, I'm walking. And then the baby sets a new goal. It might be to, I don't know, ride a bike. And the baby gets older, turns to 17, new goal, drive a car. We're goal-seeking organisms. A person without a goal is absolutely lost. You've got to get up in the morning and you've got to get really excited, like, I am working towards my goal. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to reach your goal? Let me know in the chat. Give me a yes or a no. Okay. Let me ask you this. You know what? I put this on my Instagram story the other day, right? If you've got a product that, let's say, is £10,000, you've got to sell that product 10 times in a month to earn £100,000, right? £10,000 times 10 is £100,000. People will be like, yeah, that's amazing. But if I told you that to get those 10 yeses in that month, you had to receive 90 no's. 90 people reject your offer, reject your product. Would you still do it? Would you still be willing? Even though you get punched in the face 90 times, you get told 90 times a month, you get told no. Over the year, you still earn 1.2 million. Winston Churchill said that success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. You know, my girlfriend's little sister Molly, she's just started a new company where she interviews CEOs and business owners. And she had me on a podcast for an interview. And she said, what is one thing that you would tell people that would be a game changer? What's the one like core value? And instantly I just said persistence. Most people say, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, but then they're not willing to do what it takes. It's like that story about the man who sent his beautiful wife a love letter. And he was like, I love you. You know, you're amazing. I would do anything for you. I would swim across the Atlantic Ocean. I would run 1,000 miles. And then he ended the letter with, I'll see you on Monday if it doesn't rain. It's quite funny, right? So I was talking about persistence. Now, going back to my story a little bit with um, getting to the position that I'm in, top 1% of Bob Proctor's consultants, a lot of people that became consultants at the same time as me, I don't know where they've gone, right? They must have quit. Now, the logical thing to do when the going gets tough is to quit. That's the logical thing to do. Since working with Bob, I believe I've taken in just over 2 years, or 2 years actually, I believe I've taken around 850 consultations. Out of those 850 consultations, I've enrolled about 50 people, maybe a bit more. And this is what I was saying on the interview and going back to persistence. And I said to Molly, I said, that means that I got rejected 800 times. I got rejected 800 times, but it's made me very wealthy. And it's so true. This apparently Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times when trying to invent the incandescent light. He was willing to do that though. That's a serious question you've got to ask yourself. And there's a great quote by Dr. Kenneth Blanchard, and he says, there's a big difference between no, he said there's a big difference between being interested in creating the life that you want and being committed. Think about that. He said there's a big difference between being interested and committed. He said because when we're interested, we're only going to do what's convenient. But when we're committed, we do whatever it takes. We accept only the result and not excuses. So when you set your goal, it can't be something that your wife wants you to achieve, or your husband wants you to achieve, or your children want you to do. Because you're not going to really, really go after it. It's got to be something that you want. You've got to be in love with your goal. You've got to fuse with it, become one with it. Okay? Simple action step for you guys. I want you to post your action step in the Facebook group. But I want you to ask yourself this first. And this is in your workbook as well. What three new beliefs or truths do you want to take from this session? And your action step is to write out your goal and three truths about money that you wish to believe in on a card, okay, or just a piece of paper. And I want you to put it for over these 5 days. I want you to put it where you can see it often. And then I want you to read it twice or more every day. And when you're reading it, I want you to pretend to yourself that you've already done it. I promise you, if you do that, you're going to start to see things move over these 5 days. And they'll move very, very quick. And I'm going to be in the Facebook group. I'm going to be contacting you because you're going to need accountability. Because your old programming doesn't want you to take action. I'll do what Joelle tells me to do another day or tomorrow. It's going to take you 5 minutes, if that. 5 minutes of your time. And if you follow what I say, you'll become very, very rich. Another thing that I want to stress as well is that me and you literally become what we think about. So when you take action on this homework and when you write out in present tense, I'm so happy and grateful now that I attract 15 clients a month. I earn whatever your goal is, whatever it is that you want. And you read it over and over again, well, we become what we think about. So if you're thinking about this goal and we become what we think about, it's clear to see that it's going to start to manifest itself. Now think about this. You're a physical being. Sorry, no, you're a spiritual being. I said physical then. Nearly, I was frazzled then. You're a spiritual being. You just live in a physical body. Okay? Now, wherever you are psychologically is where you are going to end up physically. So if psychologically you've reached your goal, you've already got tons of clients, You're living in that beautiful house that you want to live in. If you live there psychologically, you're going to move there physically. Simple as that. Spirit always manifests itself through its polar opposite, which is physical. Does that make sense? Give me a yes in the chat if that makes sense. Smash out your action step as quick as possible. Okay. I also want to see it as well with a picture of yourself. Easy, simple. Write your goal down. Three truths about money on a piece of paper. Take a selfie and put it in the Facebook group. Also, the reason that we're doing this as well is so I can see your goal and I can give you some suggestions on how it's wrote. Needs to be wrote in a certain way. And then tomorrow is where we're really going to dive into the two parts of your mind, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, and how we can actually use the law of attraction to start attracting clients with ease and an abundance of money. But to do that, we're going to have to take action. So the Facebook group, if it's not in the top of the chat for you on YouTube, I will put it into the chat for you now. What you need to do is click that link, register for this event. And the reason that I've done it that way as well is so we're going to go on live, we're going to go live on Zoom for the next 5 days. But you're also we're also going to go live on YouTube. But so you can get updated, you can also get access to the workbook, which is an essential part of these 5 days that we're live. Click on that, register. It takes about 30 seconds. And on the thank you page, the page that it leads you to, you're going to see a link to join the Facebook group. Request to join the Facebook group. Once you're in the Facebook group, you'll get access to the replays. But then you just want to request to put a post onto the Facebook feed with a selfie of you with your goal, three truths about money, so I can see it and I can ensure that you're implementing. But we have to start controlling our thinking. It's not enough to want to be an amazing salesperson or an amazing business owner. To do that, to have that, we first must be it. We first must act like the person that we want to be. How do we do that? We control our thinking and we start thinking about our goal. You cannot think about what you don't want and what you want at the same time. It's one or the other. And if you're thinking about what you don't want, you're attracting what you don't want. If you're thinking about what you do want, you're going to attract what you want. This is what this is going to help you do over the next 5 days. Okay. If you go to the workbook, you'll see at the end of session one, it will say action item. And you can go to that after this call or in your free time this evening and just follow the action step. Okay. If you need help with it, you will have me inside of the Facebook group. Feel free to drop me a private message. Okay. I'm going to be in this Facebook group a lot. Okay. It's not going to be my team. I'm going to personally do it because I want to make sure that you get the most out of this experience. So give me a DM if you're stuck or you need any extra support. But when you go into the Facebook group, it's going to be very clear what to do. And then when you post it, I can have a look at it and just make sure that it's right. And if I've got any suggestions or anything I can help you with. Okay. The replays, if you go to the guides section of the Facebook group, once we're done with this session, I will send you the replay. Or I might actually just do it where I send you the replay on YouTube. It's probably going to be a bit more simple for you guys, but it'll also be in the guide section under day one replay. Okay, 6 p.m. tomorrow, we go live for day two. We're going to really dive deep into the mind, the conscious mind, and the subconscious mind, and actually how to start doing what we know we should be doing instead of procrastinating. Okay. See you there, guys. Well done in the use for showing up live. I'll send you an email also with the replay, and I will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. UK time. Okay? See you then.